What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Monday, NBA Talk with Jay, with Michael Fiddle, my guy, the Fiddler, a.k.a. Middle Fiddle. What's up with you, Fiddle? Everything cool with you, my brother?
I'm doing well. We hit a nice middle on the Friday show, giving out that Jason Tatum over 27, but under 29, lands at 28. That was really nice. I didn't even bet that one myself, but I know some people in your comments reached out to me that they got it. It was a pretty good weekend. It's been a cold NBA March run because these injury reports are the worst that we've seen in the history of the NBA in my lifetime. In your lifetime? Has it ever been worse?
No, it's pretty bad, man. I used to make a bunch of money off the late injury stuff, but yeah, now it's pretty bad, man. But if you want to bet the NBA, you have to navigate it, man. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of the injury report manipulation. But like I say, man, it's stuff you got to deal with if you want to bet the NBA.
I completely agree. I've previously said use it as an advantage. Like use injury reports to your help. Study them, get ahead of it, analyze what the beat writers are saying, pay attention to what the coaches are saying in the interviews. It's complete bullshit this year. Like everything almost seems to go the opposite direction. So now I'm completely lost, and I'm end up making the wrong moves because of it. Like last week, I thought Halliburton was definitely going to miss one game. Totally plays. I thought Zion was going to be out for personal reasons. Day of gets announced. Giannis, there was twice that he was announced in the starting lineup and then was a late scratch and was considered out. Like
that's that bullshit right there.
Yeah, and it's all the biggest needle movers. These are the people like today. I mean, there's Curry and Jokic. We have no fucking clue what's going to happen with Curry and Jokic. We don't know what's going to happen with Gobert or Halliburton or Miles Turner. Like there's so many games that betting early and getting good lines, which is a lot of what I do and my approach to this space, just gets thrown out the window and it becomes like, let's bet later into the market. And which, you know, it is what it is. You have to change your approach and we will.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta wait. These days, you might have to wait, especially with some of those guys. Like if you're betting the Nuggets, you really can't care about the line. You need Jokic in there. It's that simple. He just means way too much. I didn't even know Miles Turner was game time decision. That's something new for sure. Pacers have 3 of their starters game time decision. But let's go ahead and talk about it, man. Let's get straight into the card here. Try to find some cash here, man. Let's go over here to the streets of Manhattan in this one. New York City Knicks land 7 points here at the house versus the Heat team, the Miami Heat team. Heat looks like they know one part. No, they wanted any parts of winning right now. I'm pretty sure they'd like to lose every single game the rest of the season. I would not go anywhere near the Miami Heat. The Knicks have already won 4 of the last 5. They've beaten them both times this year as well. Knicks are only thing not working well for the Knicks is that they've been playing so many road games, Fiddle. They've played 8 of their last 10 games have been on the road. And they're coming back home from a 5-game East Coast, West Coast road trip as well. They come back home. So that's the one thing that's not working well for the Knicks. But I know I don't want the Heat here. What are you thinking about this game?
Taking huge under movement, line open 214 in the total, down 209.5 DraftKings and MGM, 210.5 pretty much everywhere else. So 4 to 5 points of under movement. We've also seen the spread, Jay, go from 7.5 down to 7 or some 6.5s popping up. Yep. Sometimes when I see that, it's just like, okay, you've lost 4 points in the total, right? And the Knicks are the bigger favorite than the Heat. So you have to knock off a little bit of the spread, has to come down from where it was at 8 to 7.5, and 7 starting to show up, because if we're going to lose 5 points in the game, you can't assume that they're going to become equally from both sides, right? If the Knicks are favored more, you also have to bring down the Knicks against the spread, because you're capping them as probably going to score more than half the points when you shave off 5 points of the total. So I think the movement is really an under here, which makes sense. I mean, the Heat have Bam to throw at Cat on the Knicks' best offensive weapon. The Knicks have OG, they have Hart, they have Bridges to throw at Tyler Hero, the Heat's best offensive weapon. So under or nothing, but you're catching it late with 5 points of movement if you're betting into it now. So I would probably say nothing at this point would be the best advice.
And the Heat are 7-1 to the under in their last 8 games. Last 8 games, the offense has absolutely stunk it up. I think the most they've scored in their last 8 games is 109 points. That was versus the Bulls, a fast-paced Bulls team. But other than that, they did score 107 versus the Cavs, but 91 back-to-back games, 91 versus Celtics, 91 versus a very trash Grizzlies defense as well, man. That's really bad. So I want absolutely nothing to do with the Heat. Obviously, there's going to be some times where they might try and stun everybody. Not the greatest spots for the Knicks, but just a heads up to you guys. Like we've been talking about this the last few shows. You probably want to stay away from the Heat right now. It's one of those teams that you didn't think would ever be tanking, but that's what they're doing here, man. So Knicks are nothing for me. I definitely couldn't talk you off an under spot. It's just the way that the Heat's offense has been. They'll play good defense. Offense is like stuck in the mud, man. So maybe just look towards unders or team total unders for the Miami Heat over there, man. Let's go over here to the streets of Minnesota in this one. Wolves laying 7.5 points at the house versus the Pacers in this one, Fiddle. You got Siakam is out. I was wondering why this line had shot up from like 3 or 4 to 7.5. And I was like, somebody's got to be out. So Siakam's going to be out. I think the beat writer said this is going to be his first game that he's missed with the Pacers since being with them over a year. That's pretty crazy.
Good for him. Yeah.
That's
shout out Spicy P.
Who does that these days? Who doesn't miss a game for a whole fucking year, man? Unless you're like Mikal Bridges or somebody. But shout out to Siakam. Halliburton questionable, Miles Turner questionable, and Aaron Nesmith questionable as well. And they're not coming off a back-to-back, and they don't play tomorrow either. Fiddle, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I think at this point it's Pacers or nothing. So I actually played Wolves, but I think at current numbers, it's Pacers or nothing. So let's just explain the difference of advice. I got in before the Pascal Siakam news dropped. So I have Wolves minus 3.5 and an under at 233.5. So obviously those are great tickets. There's comments right now of like, I don't pay attention to line moves and whatnot. You should, because if you could be holding a Wolves minus 3.5, then you're in unbelievable situation, right? You're in an outright free money arbitrage window right now, especially if you can break injury news the right way and try and get ahead of those things. At this point, Halliburton, Nesmith, Turner, you said it, not on any back-to-back, not coming off of a back-to-back, not heading into a back-to-back. And the Wolves are on the back-to-back themselves after playing the Ayers yesterday.
The ass.
Right? Winning by 26. Getting all up in that AS was the Wolves yesterday. So we look at the spot and it's just like it should be a classic Pacers spot. And if those 3 get ruled in, then I do think the line is going to come back to 7 or 6.5. So I think at this point it's Pacers or nothing. And if you want the Wolves, then sure. But the line movement is important. So if you want the Wolves at this point, then wait. Wait on the news. Wait on these guys to be ruled in and then play Wolves. Or if you want the Pacers. So the line moves can matter in terms of getting ahead of certain situations, but they could also matter in just dictating the timing of your bet, right? There's no reason to play a minus 7.5 or minus 8 when you could wait an hour and a half and play that at 6.5 after shoot-around reports come out, right? Or on the flip side, if it's Pacers, you want to get Pacers now. So all of line moves should always matter in every sport, in any handicap. The market matters a lot, and it's very smart, and it's smarter than me. It's smarter than you, Jay. It's smarter than anyone in the chat, and it's a consensus opinion of the smartest and most proven people in betting. So that's why we should take it, not as like gospel and everything, but we should take it seriously and be aware of it.
All right, it's a fact. Man, the Pacers 0-6 against spread last 6 games, man. They have not been covering spreads. This is their 6th road game of their last 7 games. So I know I'm not betting the Pacers without Hallie. I know that much. I already missing Siakam. That's going to be a bit steep. But like you're definitely going to need Halliburton. You're going to need Turner. You're going to need Nesmith. You're going to need everybody's. Benedict Mathurin coming up big off the bench. TJ McConnell. So I want no parts of the Pacers without Halliburton. Unfortunately, they're going to have them questionable game time pretty much all the way up until the game, man. So this one probably have to wait. And the Pacers, some you said there, Pacers actually been going under. 7 of their last 10 games have went under the total for whatever reason. 6 of their past 8 as well. So they've been going unders. And look at the Wolves ever since they got Julius Randle back, man. 8-0 straight up, 6-2 against the spread as well. Went out there and smacked the Jazz up yesterday as well, man. So Wolves are actually starting to peak right now.
There's a great Julius Randle prop. He's plus 340 for a double-double.
Double-double.
And he's going with
the
no
McDouble.
Pascal on the other side, a high total against a team that should be pace up. And if you look at matchup-specific statistics, Jay, because the way that I look at player prop stuff, when I do props, I'm mainly sides and totals. But when I do props, I really like to make it matchup specific. Okay, what do the Pacers allow the most? And if you look at like points, rebounds, assists combos for high usage power forwards, absolutely dominate the Pacers. So this could be
especially without Siakam out there.
So there's like a plus 340 double-double, and then there's a 45-1 triple-double. I was like,
Siakam
sprinkle on both.
Yeah, Siakam would be the one that would be guarding Randall as well.
Yep.
And so without him, shit, I don't know who the hell.
Now it's Obi Toppin, Jarris Walker, maybe Thomas Bryant. Like it's not the same. You want, Randall should feast.
No.
And he probably beat Obi Toppin's ass in practice back when they were with the Knicks. He probably used to bust Obi in practice.
Yeah. He hasn't been getting the boards since Gobert is back. What you would need is to get ahead of that, like hoping it'll go Bears out. Then that double-double would look
unbelievable. But I mean, it should still be good regardless of Gobert. Plus 340. That's amazing. And when I saw it, you looked at sharper books, and sharper books were like offshores were laying at plus 290. So another 50 cents of just market reading in that regard too.
Let me see. There's one more thing. Yeah, he had been grabbing the boards. You need Gobert to be out for sure. Jay McDaniels has been on the boards too. I have to see a pathway to it. But trust me, like I like to find them double. I like to find a McDouble. You know what I'm saying? With extra cheese. A McDouble with extra cheese. He did get one versus the Spurs. He got 14 points. He got that one with assists though. He got 14 points, 10 assists.
Right. That's why I like the triple-double too. That's why I'm like, you might as because he can do that.
Yeah, no,
and
I need
Gobert can come against the Pacers at the power forward. I think it makes a lot of sense.
If I felt like they were out, he got 13 and 10. He almost got a triple-double versus the Heat. 13 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. So he was one away. And guess what? That game that he got the 10 boards, no Gobert there. So that I would bet it if I felt like Gobert was out, and I think that 340 would definitely probably move to like plus 190. If Gobert's out, that's just going to move.
That's even money.
For sure. So what do you think? Does Gobert play on a back-to-back?
Yeah, I do think Gobert plays, but that doesn't impact being okay with it at plus 340 for me.
Yeah, okay. I can dig it. Let's go over to the streets of Houston in this one. Rockets, land 15 versus the ass Sixers. Actually coming off a win, man. I should have, if I was at the casino, I can't live bet from my phone. The Sixers were up like 15 points or 11 points. And I was like, bro, why should they try to give this fucking game away? Because we know that they don't want to win. They'll win a few games, but they didn't want to win that game. It was a 2-point game with a few seconds left yesterday. I was like, if I was at the casino, I would have been betting Mavs. I think they were down 11 with 7 minutes to go. And you could have got a nice price with them plus the points. Not taking them on the money line, but just taking them plus 11 or whatever the live spread was. And, of course, the Sixers pissed the lead and then had to barely win the game and win by free throws. So they win by 5. So something to keep an eye on, guys. I know it's tough when it's two teams that are really struggling, but we know that the Mavs are still holding on to a play-in tournament. So that's just something to look out for. If you're betting live, when there's teams like the Sixers, the Spurs, the Jazz, even the Wizards, if they get a big double-digit lead, you probably want to go ahead and take the other team plus the points because that team is going to try their best to lose that game down the stretch. The Nets as well. If you see the Nets get up by 10, 15 points, take the other side, man, for sure, because they always going to piss that shit away in the fourth quarter. But what do you think about this game? I think it's a huge spread. I wasn't no part of the Sixers, though, man. I'm sorry. Can't do it.
Yeah. I would lay 15 with the Rockets if I was playing the spread. We have Steven in the comments saying Rockets smoke them. You got Parlay Moneybag saying Rockets should blow them out for sure. Completely agree on both. I actually think the over is still playable. There's a 221.5 at DraftKings. I would be comfortable playing that towards the over. There is a correlated angle between big spreads that are potential blowout spots and overs.
Yeah.
So I actually think this is still a fairly low total. It's climbed up from 219.5. So you're chasing 2 points, but you're definitely getting the right sharp direction here. Tari Eason is back for the Rockets, Jay. And when teams have the bigs like that, guys who play the 4 that are willing to put the ball on the deck, like the reason why the Grizzlies score so much is because Jaren will initiate offense, or like Santi Aldama will initiate offense when they're out there. Same thing with Tari Eason. Like, you don't always have to look for your point guard or your shooting guard and then set up in your sets and then run a high screen and roll or whatever. The teams that are willing to just initiate from the wings, those are over spots. Like the being able to get into your offense a lot quicker. So a nice little Eason back in the rotation makes me want to take the over, even though he's good at defense. He increases the pace enough.
Our guy T Slick got chokes, man. He say Sixers money line. I think they want no parts of that.
That's called a donation.
That would be funny as hell if that shit happened, to be perfectly honest with you. LJ says he probably going to this game. He says Rockets in a smack city spot. They've won 6 straight. This is their 6th straight home game as well. You don't want to be betting against the Rockets in these type of spots, man, in my opinion, man. So, but like this is the 6th game. This is a back-to-back, 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th and 6th. 6th game in 9 days for the Sixers. And 4 of those have had travel as well. Well, this will be the 4th game or whatever. The 4th road game in that 6 as well. So Sixers, I can't trust them, man. Rockets, we'll see if their offense is rolling, they could blow them out. But I also worry about Rockets offense sometimes. Maybe not versus this Sixers team though. This Sixers team is ass. I wouldn't.
Did you hear the joke that we need to be calling the Sixers the top Sixers now instead of the 76ers?
I don't get it. Their pick or what? Because their top 6 pick?
Because their pick is top 6 protected.
Yeah.
And that they desperately need a top 6 pick. So they're the top Sixers now. They ain't no 76ers because the 7 would be the worst possible outcome. They want to lose and be the top Sixers.
Watch them fuck around and get the 7th pick. It's going to be
so
hilarious.
Fucking funny.
It's going to be hilarious. You did all that losing, all that tanking, all that. Still didn't get your fucking pick. And you paying Paul George and Embiid all this money to sit on a bench. It would be hilarious. All right. I don't care what they do with their pick, though, honestly. Let's go over to the street to New Orleans. Pelicans getting 7.5 at the house versus the Pistons. Should be just a Pistons spot. Should be pretty simple here, Fiddle, right? Now, obviously, Zion, if he's going to play, it could be something. But I think people have kind of like, you know what? Zion might not play. Let's go ahead and bet the Pistons before, you know what I'm saying, if it does happen. So I know this was at 6 yesterday. This should be a pretty – this is the way it is these days, man. You just go with the easy spot. First off, the Pelicans have owned the Pistons. They've won 7 straight matchups versus them. We know now the Pistons are much better. Pistons are coming off 2 straight losses. There's no telling when the last time they've lost 3 straight games. Had a bad loss versus the Wizards, and then we can't get mad at them for losing versus the Thunder. And that they played a really great game versus the Thunder as well. I'm watching that game, and I say after the Pistons giving them everything they can handle, I said Pistons going to smack the shit out of somebody they play next. And then you look and you see that it's the Pelicans. I think the Pistons probably smack them up whether Zion plays or not. Now, Zion can be a matchup problem for them, but I still feel like everywhere else on the floor, the Pistons have the advantage. They have the much better defensive team as well. I just think this is a Pistons spot, Fiddle. Like pretty simple. Pistons or nothing. What do you think about this game?
Pistons or nothing. I just wish I knew the Zion news because if Zion plays, honestly,
everybody wishes they knew the fucking Zion.
Hold on, let me text my boy Z right now and ask him what the hell's going on. Are you going to play tonight? There's also Kelly Olynyk.
Zion, where the girls at?
Yeah, exactly. Zion wants all that ass.
Me too, and I'm right there with him.
So
we're in the same boat.
It's also Kelly Olynyk and Eve Messi, who are also questionable and didn't play. So, even if Zion misses and the other 2 also miss, there's 0 bigs. They have literally no interior. So then you're looking at Duran stuff. I would be looking at Pistons stuff heavily. I would be looking towards overs. I would love the over if Zion were to play. 232.5 would be a smash to the over. I think Pistons are nothing, but the Zion news just means everything, and playing it at a 7.5 is kind of crazy without knowing yet.
That's a fact. Yeah, our personal reasons, man. I'll just say one thing. Like, they know at least if he's even with the team or not. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people be questionable. This the only thing that pisses me off, Fiddle. They'll have people questionable. They're not even in the same fucking state, bro, as a team. Literally. Like, they'll be having people questionable personal reasons, and they're somewhere else with their family or something. Like, they're not even with the team, and they'll have them questionable and shit, man. She really be wild for real. But this is a home game. He could still be in New Orleans, but they know if he's gonna play or if he's even, you know what I'm saying, like with the team or even shoot around. Have you even heard that he was at shoot around or not? Usually
No
we'll get
fucking
some
clue.
type of. Sometimes we'll get a like, hey, Zion wasn't in that shooting round, or he's at shooting round. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the line will move just off that. But my whole thing is, bro, is he even it with the team? If he's away from the team, why don't they just come out and say he's away from the team right now? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. But I know that the Pistons are going to be pissed the hell off here. Literally, the Pistons pissed off. They're facing a opponent that they're much better than. I think this is a Piston spot, man, through and through. Even if Zion plays or not, this should be a Pistons pissed off at the world type of spot here. The Pelicans don't have anything to play for, man. It's crazy because they got good players: C.J. McCollum, Trey Murphy, Zion. But it's like they game versus the Magic. It's like you have teams that's playing for something, trying to get right for the playoffs, versus a team that's playing. They're hooping. They're going to hoop, but they also don't want to get injured, and they're already making vacation plans. They're not going to the playoffs. So I don't want teams that don't really have motivation these days. Pistons or nothing. I think they come out really motivated, really from start to finish, in my opinion. Pistons might piss on them here. Let's go over to the street to Utah in this one. Zion would probably wish he played for the Utah Jazz. He would definitely have that J off of his shirt for sure. His shirt would say, I'm playing for Utah ass. Give me all that ass. And I'm with Zion. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame him because I'm right there with him. Bulls land 6 in Utah. Fiddle, what we doing?
Nothing. This is a classic. This is a classic. You can't play the Bulls because now their price is a road favorite, almost similar to the Pistons and a conversation we've had 20 times this year on the show. Love Pistons as underdogs, road underdogs, short favorites. We're actually at the point finally, situationally, a kind of a spot where we're okay playing the Pistons as road favorites. I don't think the Bulls have stepped into that spot where we're okay laying 6 with the Bulls on the road in Utah. That being said, like, what are the Jazz doing? I have no clue. They benched Lauri Markkanen at halftime last game. Exactly. What's going on in Utah?
They ass. That's what's going on. They could have covered versus the Wolves, but benching. Find them. What do you mean you benching them? Remember, your teams can't do that. You can't bench the players. They got fined.
They played them the next day, and then the new like wrinkle to NBA injury reporting, and the Raptors did it with Jakob Poeltl. It's like, oh, we're actually only going to play you for half the game, and you're going to play 17 minutes, so we're going to deem you as active. But like, the NBA has to figure something out because like this is ridiculous. Now teams are just benching players halfway through the game because they don't want to win. It's nuts.
Find their ass $1 million. Take away a draft pick or something. Look, you want to tank? I'm taking away your first round draft pick. Now what, motherfucker?
What if that was it? What if that was it? What if it's if you get caught tanking, we're taking away your first round pick?
Boom.
Nobody would tank.
Wizards
would be out here grinding for W's.
J Money Silver. Make me the fucking head of the league. All right, I got something for your ass.
J Money Silver.
Now no first round pick for your ass for next 2 years. Now what, motherfucker? You want to play your people? You want to try to win now, motherfucker?
No first round pick.
Now, how about that?
What if it's as if you get accused of tanking, the highest your pick can be 5?
I don't know. They got to do something, bro. But yeah, the Jazz. This is bad. So it's a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. They play 6 of their last 7 games on the road. They come back home, road home back-to-back. Minnesota to Utah. It's not really just a hop, skip, and a jump. It's also their 6th game in 9 nights as well. Absolutely a horrible spot for the Jazz, to be honest with you. It's really not a good spot for the Jazz. But, I mean, like you say, do you want to take I feel like these two teams play the same. You're probably going to get some guys ruled out for the Jazz. Maybe Bulls first quarter. The Jazz have been all over the place, man. This is not good. They hadn't had 2 days off in forever. Since March 2nd, this will be their 10th game since March 2nd, bro. No lie. This is wild. They played the 2nd, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 9th, the 10th. So this will be their 3rd back-to-back since March 2nd. Brutal. Went to West Coast, went to the East Coast as well, DC, Toronto, Philly, Boston, Memphis, home for 1 game, then to Minnesota. Now I'm back home, road home. It's a horrible spot for the Jazz, in my opinion, but mainly to start the game because I've heard like Mike Malone say when his team comes back, they have to get used to the altitude again. Even though they're the home team, if they've been on the road, now you have to get back used to the altitude. maybe Bulls first quarter here, but I wouldn't want no part of a team that doesn't want to win. Like taking them full game, it could be Bulls or nothing for me, man. But it's a horrible spot for the Jazz, in my opinion. Let's go over to the streets of Sacramento, Fiddle. Kings laying 2.5 at the house versus the Grizzlies. No Ja Morant here. We know that. Kings need every win, Fiddle. What are we doing? Should we take the Kings here?
No. Do you like the Kings?
I don't give a flying F about this game. Not going to lie to you. It would be Kings or nothing for me. I mean, I think the Grizzlies are the better team. The Kings have owned them, though. Like, with Ja Morant, no Ja Morant, all that shit. If you look at lately, so for a while, Ja Morant was playing ass. The rest of the team was playing good. Now it's the opposite. Now Ja Morant has to fucking carry them, and now the rest of the team is playing ass. So, no, I'm not betting them without Ja Morant. I'm not doing it.
Then I would avoid this game. But it does seem like Sabonis is going to play. So, like, the Ja Morant out news and Sabonis is going to play is the reason the line has changed so much from open to where it is now at Kings -3. It's probably the right price. I'm on the Grizzlies or nothing at this point of it, and I would even play the plus money on a money line. I think it's a Grizzly spot, but I understand the King sentiment. I need Scottie Pippen Jr. active, though.
No, that's a fact.
Like, without Ja Morant, you need Scottie Pippen Jr. because he's been playing fantastic this year.
Is he questionable too, or what?
The whole league's questionable.
Yeah.
Does this guy play in the NBA? He's questionable, potentially doubtful.
The Kings, for whatever reason, they've won 5 of the last 6 versus the Grizzlies, man. I don't know what it is. Could they be a little bit of their kryptonite? Obviously, every single one of those games were De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. The Kings are not the same without Fox. I know they had a little spurt there where they were going crazy. Malik Monk can fill in and do something, but like when you have like guys like Keon Ellis, your backup point guard, I just don't really have faith in you. Right now, the Kings are actually a much better defensive team than they are offensively. I don't like Zach LaVine, DeRozan running point guard. I don't like it. I don't think it's. They need a point guard, like really bad, in my opinion, man. So I'm not messing around with the Kings at all. They've lost 4 straight, all to tough teams, though. They lost to the Clippers, Knicks, Warriors, and Suns. A little bit of a step down in competition now. This is the reason why I'm not betting against the Kings. They need every win right now. Like every game is pretty much like a playoff game for the Kings here. So that's the reason why I can't bet them.
Didn't they lose to the Clippers? I think Clippers were on second night back-to-back without Kawhi. Or no, I think Kawhi played and then missed the game against the Pelicans. They lost to the Knicks without Brunson. Yeah. You mentioned the Suns. They actually fucking suck. You said they're a good team.
The Clippers play defense. The Knicks play defense. The Warriors play defense. That loss versus the Suns was bad. But that was also, I think that was like a back-to-back spot. Yeah, the one bad one.
Sabonis doesn't want to be there. The coach is overrated, and I
don't think the coach is overrated though. I don't think the coach is overrated. I think he's a good coach. The team that he has, like even the fact that they went on that little run with the team that he has, they don't have a fucking point guard. He's doing the best he can with that team. Like you have 2 of the same type of players, and DeRozan and LaVine. Even though LaVine's a better 3-point shooter, you don't have a point guard, and he didn't have Sabonis for the longest. I think he's actually a great coach, but Kings they need a facilitator, 2 of them, one out starting and coming off the bench. That's their problem. So. They could win this game with defense. Grizzlies don't play a lot of defense, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Kings need the game. I still think Grizz are better, but they're not trustworthy either. And they've been getting owned by the Kings. So we'll see what happens, but no bet for me. Let's go over here to the game of the night. Warriors laying 4.5 at the house versus the Nuggets. Steph's questionable with the back. They do have a game tomorrow, Fiddle, and it's a national TV game tomorrow. So this is the whole thing. If Steph wants to rest one of these games, it has to be this one because they're not going to let him rest when it's only a 4-game slate and they have a national TV game. Let me see. This one might be national TV too. I'm pretty sure it is. Both of them probably are. But if he wants to rest, so this is ESPN, then tomorrow's NBA TV, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, who fucking knows? They got the Bucks tomorrow. The Stars aren't supposed to be resting back-to-backs, but I feel like they might rest them in one of these games. I don't know which one it is. They've been getting owned by the Nuggets, Fiddle. So you would think that they would want this one, but I know Gordon and Jokic just give the Warriors fits, bro. They just don't have the bigs. You still definitely can't be starting Draymond and like Ford and like Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you can't be doing that. You're gonna have to start one of your other bigs, probably Quentin Post or whatever. But they've lost 8 straight to the Nuggets, 8 straight games.
Yeah, and the way that this is priced on the Nuggets side, going out to like 4.5, 5 at certain points, Nuggets +5 was a line that was available for a long time last night into this morning. That just pretty much just says that they actually think the Nuggets might rest some guys. Steph Curry's played 5 games on no rest this season out of, I think, 11 opportunities, but he has played all the back-to-backs since Jimmy Butler has been there. So I do expect Steph Curry's bilateral knee soreness was what was showing up on the injury report earlier this season. By the fanciest fucking way to say rest. Bilateral knee soreness. Okay, Curry, why are you on both your knees? Come on. And then so he's been playing since Jimmy's been there, but Jokic destroys them. What the Warriors suck at dealing with is a big who can score and who is elite and has high usage. So you just said, like, what is Draymond going to guard Jokic? There's no way. So like the Knicks just covered against the Warriors without Brunson because Karl Anthony Towns had an amazing game. So if Jokic is playing, and you talk about the schedule spot for the Warriors, I think this is the Nuggets like have 14 games in 23-day stretch. So like it's brutal for the Nuggets too. So who the fuck knows who's playing? This is a spot where wait for the information. If you do get them all active, Murray, Gordon, Jokic, those guys, like Steph, I do think is going to play. And you can get Nuggets at like +4, +3.5. I like Nuggets plus money. I like Nuggets on the money line. I like them with the points, but I need Jokic active.
Yeah. I would be surprised if Steph said, but when you look at it that they've lost, so there's two different things. I mean, so you would think that they would say, all right, look, we've been getting our ass kicked by the Nuggets. Let's come to play. We have a different team now. Jimmy Butler lost the finals to the Nuggets. I know that they hate this team, but also sometimes the team just matches up well.
Yeah, they can't deal with that.
And maybe Steph's like, look, I know we can't fuck with this team, bro. Let me just rest this one and play tomorrow versus the Bucks, and let's get this win. Like sometimes these teams know they can't match up. It doesn't matter if they start Draymond and Quentin Post. If Gordon and Jokic play, they're gonna slice and dice them. It's that simple. So I'm kind of thinking when I see him pop up, it's like maybe they just kind of succeeding this game. And it's like, man, look, we can't fuck with the Nuggets and hope they don't face them in the playoffs as well. But Warriors are hot. They're cooking. 5th straight home game as well. Now, this is what you're talking about with the Nuggets. They just played 5th game in 7 nights. I was on the Wizards in that game versus the Nuggets. I'm laying double digits, 5th game in 7 nights. No. Now, I didn't think they was going to lose the game outright, but I do know that the Nuggets are going to be pissed off from losing outright to the Pistons. I mean, to the Wizards. I know that they are. Nuggets are only 2-8 against the spread last 10 games, but they're definitely they're on a bounce back spot coming off a home loss as double-digit favorites. But like I say, so if that was 5th game in 7 nights, this is the 6th game in 9 nights for the Nuggets here, man. So we'll see what happens. But be Nuggets or nothing for me, Nelson. I'd like to say, hey, revenge spot for the Warriors, double revenge, all this shit. But sometimes team just has your number, match up well, and Steph might just know that. Like, you know what? I'd rather play against Giannis tomorrow, man. Let's go over here to the streets of, man, the sorry fucking streets of Phoenix. Suns laying 8.5 versus the Raptors. I would not lay 8.5 with the Suns versus anyone, Fiddle. What do you like here?
I like the Suns money line, but your people will hate me for saying it.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't.
So let's move on.
We're just going to move along, man. Let's go over here to the streets of Portland. Blazers laying 6 at the house versus the Wizards. The Wizards have tanked so much. Now they're like, all right, let's hoop. We've done our tanking. Now we're trying to win. What do you think here, Fiddle? What are we doing? Take the Wizards plus a 6?
Probably on the second night of a back-to-back for Portland, who struggled yesterday against the Raptors, a come-from-behind win because the Raptors don't want to win kind of situation.
So I don't know why. They're not far from the damn play-in.
Because they don't want to. Like, we have Scotty, we have Brandon Ingram. We'll take a slightly better draft pick. We want nothing to do with that.
Look, because they don't want to.
Yeah, why go against the? You have to go. If the Raptors get the 10 seed, they either have to go to Chicago, which maybe they can win, or to Miami, which maybe they could win. Take on the 9-10 game, then play in the 7-8 game, which is going to be against like Orlando or against Atlanta. And then if they win that, they're going to get Cleveland or Boston or whatever. Like, well, Toronto wants nothing to do with that shit. Like, let them start their summer a little bit earlier. So yeah, they don't actually want to win. Wizards clearly don't want to win, but they've lost so much, like you were saying. So Marcus Smart is questionable. It seems like he's going to come back and play this game. That's a huge piece going against Portland, who has Scoot, Simons, and Sharp, like a lot of perimeter-oriented scoring. So the actual bring back of Marcus Smart becomes a nice little piece, and Middleton should be out there. So Poole is starting to play well. So like as gross it is Wizards are nothing at this point.
Yeah, no, the Wizards actually been hooping, man. Like I'm actually to the point I have their win total under, so I kind of have to start betting them every game. I bet them versus the Nuggets. I just didn't think the fuckers are gonna win outright, but they definitely did. Blazers still not out of the play-in tournament as well. 3.5 games back. Suns keep bullshitting. The Mavs are gonna fucking probably get bounced out of there. Somebody else is gonna make that 10 seed. I don't think it's gonna be.
It better be the Suns. Oh my god, if the Suns don't make it.
Bro, have you looked at the Suns' schedule? There's literally no way that they're going to win that 10 seed. The Mavs could probably lose every
game. The Mavs just like are trying to give it to them. The Mavs are like knocking on their door, like, please come take this from us.
I just want to read you off their upcoming games real quick. So they have Toronto today, which is better be a must win. Then they got the Bulls. They got to win that one. Then you got Cleveland, Milwaukee, Boston, Minnesota, Houston, Milwaukee, Boston, New York, the Warriors, the Thunder.
Jeez. Yeah, bro, that's terrible. That's terrible.
It can't get much worse.
So we have to. So like
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So I have to play the Suns money line twice as hard tonight because this is the one that they have to win, and the Toronto one's nothing to do with it.
They got to win Toronto and then Chicago, and then they might lose 10 straight games.
All right, I'm playing the Suns money line. Fuck me. This is what's happening. Sorry about it,
bro. I don't think it can get much brutal than that. I'll say it one more time because I can't even fucking believe it. Cavs, Bucks, Celtics, Wolves, Rockets, Bucks again, Celtics again, Knicks, Warriors, Thunder. And none of those teams are going to take pity on them either. Good Lord. I lean Wizards here plus a 6. They actually hooping right now. Wizards could potentially be like the Pistons next year. Maybe a couple years from now. Wizards actually ball. If you watch them, they fucking hooping right now, man. Let's go over to the streets of LA. Last game, Lakers laying 8.5 versus Spurs. Lakers are nothing. It's simple. Maybe you should parlay Lakers money line with Suns money line, Fiddle. Spurs don't want to win.
Yeah, and at that point, you might as well put in like Pacers plus 8 just in case the guys play. Like there's actually, at this point in the card, Jay, there's some spots that I would legitimately think are parlayable in the sense of like if you beat the injury news and you get ahead of these lines, like if Jokic and Murray play, like the plus 4.5s on Nuggets right now are moving to 4s. If the Zion situation breaks your way, if the Halliburton, Turner, Nesmith stuff breaks your way, if the Suns is a good spot, Lakers is a good spot, like this actually might be a time worth parlaying.
I wouldn't bet the Lakers got revenge too. Last time the Spurs came into their house, smacked them up 126-102. That was with Wemby, obviously. I mean the Spurs are just they're in a fucking tailspin. And look, and they didn't want to win the other day versus the Pelicans. Didn't want to win that one. Tell you that right now. There's something to note when you're going with a team that doesn't want to win and they're coming off a win. You better put the Lakers in something. You better bet the Lakers in some type of capacity. It could just be easy, lay the 8.5 and they smoke them by 20. But you better put the Lakers in something. Spurs want no part of this shit, man. They want none. They'd like to not win another game for the rest of the year. So if you want, I ain't fucking with no Suns, but Lakers money line with something. You gotta put it in there with you gotta do something. But I mean, I couldn't talk you off the 8.5. I'd bet Lakers minus 8.5 here. I think they smoked the Spurs, man. Spurs won't nothing. Now this is hold on. They don't really do this shit no more. Man, I ain't fucking with the Lakers. So this is 4th game in 5 nights, bro. They don't usually have that anymore. I thought they stopped doing that in the NBA. This is 4th game in 5 nights. They played in Milwaukee, then they played at Denver. Then they come home, obviously yesterday versus Suns. Now they're playing another game. I'm pretty sure this is like a reschedule or something like that from when they had the fires. This has to be something like that. One of those games in there have to be because they had to reschedule when those wildfires are going down. NBA pretty much stopped doing this. I used to make a lot of money off betting against teams like this. 4th game in 5 nights. That's even worse. It's as bad as 5th game in 7 nights, but it's horrible, especially when you're just coming off the road as well. So I actually probably wouldn't lay the points with the Lakers, but I know I don't want the Spurs, Fiddle, and I don't think that they want to win this game either. So, but fourth game and fifth nights, that's not a good spot. I'll tell you that right now. It's not a great spot. But Fiddle, let's get up out of here, my brother. I actually hadn't placed a single wager today. The stuff that I'm looking at, obviously injuries everywhere. Definitely would like to make a play in that Nuggets Warriors game. Need to see what's up with Steph. Even if Steph's out, I don't care if the line went to -1 Nuggets. I'd still take the Nuggets there, man. So, unfortunately, ton of injury guys out there, injuries that actually matter, not just like, oh, okay, this guy doesn't fucking matter. No, the big dogs on the injury report today.
Yep.
So I wanted to go to the casino last night, but I also played like 9 games of basketball, so I just chilled. But I'll definitely be heading to the casino right before the games, but no action for me right now, Fiddle. What are you thinking? I know, look, Fiddle, I know I don't want you don't want the Sixers. You don't want the Heat. It's not the best of spots for the Knicks, but you don't want the Heat. Don't want the Jazz at all. Don't want the Spurs, but Lakers are in 5th game in 5 nights. But that's who I don't. We'll start with I don't want. I don't want the fucking Pelicans either.
Don't want the Pelicans. I do want Nuggets. There's a 4.5 at ESPN bet. I actually am okay with the Heat as well. While we were doing the show, Jay, I placed 2 bets. I placed Heat plus 7.5 because I saw 6.5 starting to show everywhere, and just the value of the 7. I mean, we were talking about the value of line moves earlier. I find the value of line moves incredibly important. So when I could get a 7.5 and still available at ESPN bet, I would play any of the 7.5 still available on the Heat. I would play the 4.5 still available on the Nuggets side. I like the Suns, but I don't really want to lay the 8.5. I'm okay putting them in a parlay if you want to and taking their money line. Grizzlies on a good number is intriguing if Scottie Pippen Jr. is ruled in. And then I agree with your takes, Jay. Lakers are nothing. Rockets are nothing. I like the Rockets over in that spot. Wizards are nothing, but it's a pretty gross card. So just like nothing, no big bets tonight, nothing too crazy, but a few spots that might be worth it.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on Jokic and Gordon. For whatever, it's just a matchup nightmare for the Warriors, man. I love the Warriors. Need them. I think them to make the playoffs is -5,000. It's fucking lovely, but it's still not over. We got to get to the finish line, man. I need them to hold that. I don't want to fuck with no play-in. I need them to hold that 6 seed down, and I'm going to cash them tickets, baby. You feel me? But my guy says Lakers first quarter is absolutely a thing. He's not lying. But 4th game and 5th nights, man, that was something that's literally banned from the NBA, but they had to do it, fit it in. It's like a snow day. You got to reschedule that thing in there somewhere, man. So, man, whatever you guys are betting, best of luck. I'm not lying. I don't really like the card, but that Nuggets spot is not. But you definitely got to wait on the injury report, man. It's almost like you could take it now, but if Jokic's not in, you're going to be fucking pissed. You're going to be tearing shit up in your house. So sometimes it's just kind of, if I wanted to bet the Nuggets now, I would just go ahead and take money line. Just take money line. That way you don't feel too bad. You know what I'm saying? Put a little something on the money line. But whatever you guys are betting, best of luck. Try to look for some props, some 3-point props, all type of stuff, man. Rebounds, all that good shit, man. All that ass. You'll see if it can fit in them jeans, man. But shout out to my guy Fiddle, as always, man. Great show. Maybe we'll do another show later this week because I'm sure there's got to be some better card. I know today I didn't really like it. Tomorrow's card is even worse.
Tomorrow's card is disgusting.
Yeah, but then it'll probably get better Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, man. So let's see what happens, my brothers. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all have a great day. Cash your bets, man. It's all love. And we out.